Okay. Finally got that one. So that is from the track Discipline by King Crimson. And what I'm doing is using a looper to play both Adrian Ballou's guitar part and Robert's guitar part. And the two are in slightly different time signatures. So Adrian is playing a loop, which is pretty steady, and it goes like this. And then Robert is cutting off the last note of each sequence. So he goes like this. So he's cutting off that last F natural. And when you have the two things going on at the same time, I think it's... Okay, so Adrian's riff is in 15/16, and Robert's riff is in 14/16. And so it takes quite a while for these two different loops to come back into sync. And part of the fun of doing this is playing the two together with the looper and then knowing when those two parts are going to be right in sync again. It's very rewarding it's kind of like a puzzle. And so when the two things like come together perfectly in a looper, it's so fun. Now I've done a little bit of this with other people, and it's also so fun, but it's more prone to mistakes if one of you is not really on the ball with it. So the looper is a little bit more reliable if you can play the parts reliably. So I'm using the sheet music here. This is from the King Crimson Discipline Era Transcriptions book that was transcribed by Gabriel Riccio and Trey Gunn from King Crimson. And you can get it at musicscores.bandcamp.com. It is all of the 80s albums, so Discipline, Beat, and Three of a Perfect Pair, all transcribed, and a small group of people, including myself, helped to proofread this book. And so yeah, I'm very, very, very familiar with the King Crimson sheet music for these albums. As far as a looper, I am using a Neural DSP Quad Cortex. This is a really fancy guitar effects unit, and I like it a lot, but I like using it with my hands. So I keep it on a stand like this, a laptop stand that rotates, so I can, press buttons and turn knobs and stuff, which I can't do with my feet. And then I use this MIDI pedal from Darkglass Electronics. It is designed for the Quad Cortex. It's just about the same width, the same color, and it's an awesome, awesome unit. They sent me this so I could make this video. So thank you, Darkglass Electronics. And there will be a link to this item in the description. It's not an affiliate link or anything. But if you have a Quad Cortex, I highly recommend you get one of these, because I like using the Quad Cortex with my hands. And I wanted to be able to manipulate the Quad Cortex and then use something else for my feet. The foot switches are not, spinny like the ones on the Quad Cortex, but this is a really cool unit, and I programmed it so when I press each of these buttons, they do something in the looper and the Quad Cortex. So this is my record button, and this is my play stop button, and this is, I think, an undo button, and I don't remember what the other two are, but I'm pretty much only using the first two buttons here on the looper. So I usually have been starting with Adrian's loops, and then I add Robert's parts on top of it. But a good thing to practice is play Robert's loops and then add Adrian's on top. And that's just a different way of thinking about it. Okay, so the most famous one from these albums is the frame by frame riff. And I think everyone knows this one. It goes... Okay, so that's in 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Robert, again, he cuts one of the notes out from that sequence, and so he plays he plays it once in 7 and once in 6. So you can think of it as Adrian's in 14 and Robert's in 13. And they line up after a few iterations. So let's hear what that sounds like. Now I'm going to drop a note. So you can hear it takes a few iterations and then they come back in sync. And it is just such a rewarding pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. And there's several of these like little looping opportunities in the sheet music here. Another one of my favorites is from Discipline. There's a few in Discipline. Discipline is actually the one with the most to offer in terms of these interlocking guitar parts. So this one's a lot easier. This is the easiest of the bunch, and it goes like this. So that is Adrian's loop. Let's add Robert, who cuts a beat off, and you'll hear when I cut the beat off. You get it. It's so cool, so fun. Another really fun one is this one where Adrian plays, and let's see, I'll just record the loop here. It's easy to lose count of how many loops you're doing, but you know you've done it right when it comes back in sync and the first time you have to play the... may not make sense with me describing it right here, right now, but if you play through it with the book, you'll get it. So you can hear Adrian's loop. And Roberts goes... So he plays this sort of E minor figure. And Discipline is full of these little looping opportunities. Let's see. We covered frame by frame and some of the Discipline ones. Oh my goodness, yeah. Neal and Jack and Me, that's a toughie. I'm going to save that for later. Three of a Perfect Pair is another really cool one. It's really tricky because the parts aren't as loopy and straightforward. For example, Adrian's part in Three of a Perfect Pair. Let's see if I can pull this off on the first take. Nope. But his goes, and then the next part. Whoop. Oh, yeah, I was on the wrong fret. But if you want to play that one, you've got to start looping Robert's part because you'll want to sing over Adrian's. You won't want to sing over Robert's. So let's see if I can pull this off. Okay, Robert's is really insane. And let me tell you, Steve Vai said this in an interview as well as in conversation with me. There's got to be an easier way to play this three of a perfect pair part. Turns out there isn't. Robert has, played it the easiest way, and it's just an incredibly difficult part. So let's see if I can pull this off. One more. Go a little faster. Oh, wait. I always got to remember this one.
1 hour later.
Okay. Now that the hard part's done, let's do Adrian's part. They're both really hard. Okay, here goes Adrian's part. Got to start on the right fret. I don't know why I always start on the 9th fret. Here we go. Almost. But yeah, it's so fun to sing and play that at the same time, and it sounds so wild when you actually get it. And getting Robert's loop right the first time, I mean, it's you got to be top tier. I'm not top tier, but once I get it, or at least close enough, and then I can play Adrian's part on top of it, it really is like magic. And that's what's so beautiful about these interlocking guitars. It's like you get to participate in this incredible moment of art and beauty, and it's reproducible. You can look at a Picasso on the wall and go, wow, I could never do that. And then I listen to a lot of this music and I'm like, wow, I could never do that. But this like facsimile of the thing with a looper and the sheet music and years and years of practice and tons of do-overs. These guys just did it live, and it's incredible. But in a bedroom or in a studio like this, and a looper, and all night long, man, it's so awesome. All right, so the trickiest one to me is Neal and Jack and Me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off, but it starts out with this kind of... Adrian's part, he does 4 bars of one thing, and then 1 bar of another thing. So 4 bars of 5, then 1 bar of 6, then 3 bars of 5, and then 1 bar of 6, and then a whole lot of bars of 5. And he sings on top of it. This one is ridiculous. I recommend for this one, loop Adrian's part first, and then try Robert's on top of it. I don't know how Adrian sings on this one, honestly. It took me forever to even to get it. And I still don't fully get it, but it took me forever to like piece this sheet music together. This song is full of these like crazy moments. You know, it's like crazy stuff. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so that's what Adrian plays. Now let's try Robert's part, which is really 2 parts. It starts out like this. So he does that, and then he goes into the 3 of a perfect pair riff. So let's see if I can do this. Okay, here we go. So cool! I just love it. It's so cool. I can't believe I actually got it mostly. I give it a B- or a B, but like, it's good enough, right? And so just like those overlapping parts, and just to hear the notes sort of bouncing around, it's, oh my goodness, how fun. What incredible music this really is. So beyond those few songs, Frame by Frame, 3 of a Perfect Pair, Neal and Jack and Me, and Discipline, there's really not a lot of the interlocking guitar stuff beyond that. Once you get to like Thrack and beyond, it's the circulations. So it's Adrian and Robert sort of bouncing notes back and forth. But yeah, the interlocking guitar stuff, there is a little bit more of it in the sheet music, and I'll leave that as an exercise to the viewer. But yeah, so fun. Let me know if you try this out. And also, you know, it's opportunity for you to create your own loops. Like the other day, I was doing the frame by frame one, and then I was trying some different notes to play along with it. So let's see if I can do this. No, try again. another loop. Something like that. I feel like such a moron. I can't play. But it's like, it's the effect that just throws my brain off. So something so simple as that, playing different patterns and whatever to go over these loops, it's just a lot of fun. So explore, have fun, do something that just makes your brain work hard. And I hope you enjoyed this probably way too long exploration of this stuff. Thank you again to Darkglass Electronics for their very, very excellent MIDI foot switch that works really quickly and wonderfully with the Quad Cortex. I'm probably going to edit out a lot of my mistakes, but what's nice is it responds really quickly. Like, you can play and stop really quick. So I appreciate the fast response of this thing. It feels good, and yeah, USB power and a MIDI cable straight to the Quad Cortex. Couldn't really be easier. Yeah, thank you, Darkglass, and if you have any other video ideas around some of this King Crimson stuff, let me know. Be happy to do another. See ya.